All right, I'd like to ask you guys in the audience first. How many of you guys have put your all into something only to fall flat on your face? A lot of hands, right? And I know it sucked. The thing is, in today's society, we're taught to fear losing, but the greatest athletes of history have a different perspective on things. Take Kobe Bryant, Ronaldo, Lin Dan. I'm sure you've heard these names before. They're fantastic players in their respective sports worlds, yet their greatness didn't come easy. They each had to go through their own losses in their careers to get this far. However, their stories aren't about losing. They're about how they're able to turn loss into gain. For me, I may not have learned this on a stadium like they did, but I did learn this on a humble badminton court. To begin, I'm a badminton player of around 2.5 years, putting me at a somewhat medium level of play. I'd been trying out different sports for years before this, starting with taekwondo, moving on to cricket, golf, soccer, tennis, and then finally landing on badminton. Badminton came to me at such a pivotal point in my life when I needed it the most. At this point, I was tired of achieving nothing. I was tired of doing nothing. I needed something to get me out of this boring slump that I was in. And then there it was, like a shining star. Badminton. Badminton was unlike any other sport I had played before. It didn't require me to have started at a young age, to be a certain height, to have a certain level of strength. I mean, I'm not exactly built to be an NFL quarterback. Rather, it required me to have the determination and discipline to continually improve myself. Perhaps this is why I enjoyed this sport so much when I began it, because I could see potential for myself for the first time. I was already getting straight A's in high-level classes and pursuing art at a 7th grade, but nothing ever made me feel challenged or struggle before. When I joined badminton, something changed. I had victory riding on my own two shoulders. Every choice, every decision I made could change the outcome of the game forever. There was something so thrilling about this, because in the end, it was all or nothing. When I played badminton, I get to clear my mind and focus on what's in front of me, getting that shuttle over the net to win the point. Those rushes of joy I felt from winning were amazing. It was like being at the top of my own world. But of course, winning doesn't happen all the time. I lose. All the time. And at first, it sucked. I could be putting in hours, days, weeks of my own time into this sport, and I'll still be losing in the end. Other days, I blamed it on external factors like sickness or injury. And in the end, it felt like something was always in my way, but I could never pinpoint what it truly was. At the place I play badminton at, known as Capital Badminton Academy, there are 4 main levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and elite. 2 years ago, I got moved up from beginner to intermediate. It was here that I saw my losses grow exponentially. I could barely keep up with the very teammates I had been training with, and I was getting destroyed left and right. It was so demotivating. It was like some sort of giant wall I couldn't see the top of, some sort of barrier that prevented me from going further. A few months later, I was seriously contemplating about whether or not to quit the sport. It was then that my coach came up to me and said this: "Don't make a decision when you're sad, angry, or happy." These 10 words were my first catalyst for change, because my coach wasn't asking me to stay or leave. He was asking me to calm down and look upon my situation with a neutral perspective, to pinpoint what my issue truly was. At first, I resorted to the original reasons of sickness, injury, bad luck, but I soon realized that my circumstances weren't the issue here. It was my mindset. I'm sure that everyone in the audience has gone through rough patches or disappointments in their life that have made them want to give up on things before. Maybe you had a bad day at work or school. Maybe you had a presentation that didn't go too well. Maybe you had a club that didn't end up so well. Trust me, I've been there too, and I know it sucks. But the thing is that you can't give up when these disruptions happen. After all, disruptions in life happen to everyone. I used to think that the smallest inconvenience in my life was the reason for losing. It was easy and comfortable to think that way, because it allowed me to run away from my problems. But all that does is drive you away from any sort of root cause for your problems, and it steers you away from any goals that you may have had. This is where that mindset change is necessary. You need to view these obstructions in your path as mere steps, not barriers. You should use these steps to climb up higher and higher until you reach the goals that you aim to achieve. After all, any amount of progress you can make is better than remaining stagnant and refusing to change yourself. Of course, it's easier said than done. When your entire belief for winning or losing stems upon a fixed mindset, it can be hard to change that. But I'm not asking you to immediately change. All I'm asking is that every once in a while, when you find yourself in a rough situation, just calm down and look upon your situation to figure out what the root cause of your problem truly is. If you can view whatever is in your way as a little step, a little way to level yourself up once you get over it, I'm sure you'll make bounds of progress. After all, losing isn't the opposite of success. It's the process of becoming successful. Thank you.